So A'ja Wilson is on track to being the greatest player to ever live. She is on track to being, without question, better than like a Candace Parker, a Diana Taurasi. Heck, she's on track to be better than a Maya Moore, even if you can make the argument if Maya Moore had kept playing. She's, without question, better, in my opinion, than Breanna Stewart, both ends of the floor, and she's just getting better and better and better, and it's scary. And she's doing it all without her like superstar point guard Chelsea Gray. It's actually scary. Before we get on, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to hit 6,500 subscribers by the end of, well, tomorrow, by Friday. If we could hit that, that would be absolutely insane. Thank you guys so much for all the support on the channel recently. Like, we had literally, I think we just hit 4,500 subscribers this time last week, and now we're nearly at 6,500. So thank you guys so much for all the support. But anyway, now let's get on to the video. So A'ja Wilson had her best game ever as a pro player. She had a stat line that nobody in the history of the WNBA has ever had. And she did that while getting smacked in the face a bunch of times. She had 36, 14, 2 assists, 6 steals, a block on 68, 183 shooting. I know obviously the 3-pointers, like, she didn't shoot that many of them, but 73% true shooting on 36 points. And oh yeah, by the way, she's averaging like nearly 30 a game in 40-minute games. They play 8 minutes less than NBA games. Yes, they play 8 minutes less, and she's averaging nearly 30 and like 14. It is mental. She is also probably the best defender in the league. Cameron Brink is exceptional. Brink is exceptional as far as moving her feet, guarding fours. Angel Reese is brilliant. Dejanay Carrington's brilliant. Alyssa Thomas is good. Like, these players are all great defenders. A'ja Wilson's probably the best. But A'ja Wilson is she's just the best. Like, and I will say this, her game's not super flash. It's not super fun to watch, which is why everybody's saying like, oh, the real face of the WNBA is A'ja Wilson, yada, yada, yada. I think in a similar way to like why Jokic can't be the face of the NBA, that he's just like, I think I've heard him described, I think Nick Wright described him as like the apex predator, that you just put him in at certain stages and run through him and he'll just win you a game. And that's it with A'ja Wilson. She's just better than everybody else. Her game is mid-range shots, a couple of post fades, and one dribble, using her size, using her ability to finish to get to the basket and score, like from the high post. It's not like the most flash game. Like, if, for example, someone like an Arika Gumboale was, with her play style, was succeeding, then yeah, face of the league, without question. There's a reason why, like, the face of the league, I hate to say it, is Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is not the best player in the league. If I was to rank players based on, like, look, I've watched so much of every team this season. I would rank Caitlin Clark somewhere in the 15 to 20 range as far as players go. I think she's by far the best player on the Indiana Fever, but I also would put her in like that 15 to 20 category this season so far, with like I'd say probably a little bit below the likes of like a Marina Mabry, some around that spot there, and I would say Angel Reese is probably in the like 20 to 30 range. As far as rookies go, Cameron Brink maybe in that spot as well. But A'ja Wilson, it doesn't really matter about who the face of the WNBA is. At the end of the day, the best player by so much is A'ja Wilson, and she's way better than Breanna Stewart. I've watched enough in New York Liberty, and I watched Breanna Stewart absolutely torch the Sky. Like, she had like 15 in the first quarter. When Breanna Stewart gets hot, she is probably as smooth a game as there is. She has an ability to score from 3 levels that not many other players in the WNBA have. And she's just got a smoothness in her game. She's almost like a female Kevin Durant. But like, A'ja Wilson is just so effective. I've heard the comparison to Embiid, and I think Embiid's a good comparison. People are going mad being like, but oh no, but like Embiid doesn't win. But it's like, she's like Embiid, but doesn't shrink in the playoffs. A'ja Wilson is that level of player. Her touch is ridiculous. Like how soft her touch is putting the ball up. And she's also an anchor for one of the better defenses. The Aces are an unbelievable team. You've got Jackie Young, you've got Kelsey Plum, you've got Tiffany Hayes, you've got like a couple of other players surrounding her, and obviously Kate Martin just doing her job. And A'ja Wilson is just so far the best player. Like, you could argue, and the Aces have 3 of the top 10 players in the league, and still the gap between their first and second best player might be bigger than the gap between the first and second best player on literally any team in the league. I think that there's no question about it. Like, I have a video coming out. It would have been out a few days ago, ranking the top 10 WNBA players. The reason why I'm changing it is I was a couple of days delayed, and Kalia Copper had a couple of bad games, and Breanna Stewart had stepped up a little bit. He changed up the rankings a little bit. But there's one thing is for sure. The best player. Like, A'ja Wilson should have won MVP last year. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. Like, she should have been MVP last year. She did go win finals MVP, which is fine. But, like, she's only won one finals MVP. Who won in 2022? Kelsey Plum? Oh, no, Chelsea Gray. Yeah, fair enough. Chelsea Gray was exceptional. But, like, she's still two-time defensive player of the year. Going to be 3-time this year. She's going to win her 3rd WNBA MVP. She's going to win her probably 3rd championship, her 2nd finals MVP. She is on track. 4th all or WNBA first team, 1 second team. She's on track to being the greatest ever. She is. Because she's still young. Like, she's 26 or 27? Yeah, she's a month older than me. She could be going for 10 more years. And she doesn't seem to be slowing down. She seems to be getting better. Like, she's been better this year than she was last year. And she was better last year. You could argue she was better last year than she was in her MVP year. She's just by so much the best player in this league. Like, it's not even funny. Like, the ball goes... Every time she touches the ball, you just expect her to score. And the aces are unfair. I've said it. Like, for the aces to lose a game, it will take a team playing out of their minds. Like, it took the Atlanta Dream playing out of their minds and the Aces playing the worst game I've ever seen them play. It took a combination of both of those to beat the Aces. In fairness, A'ja Wilson played alright in that game, but the rest of them stunk it up. And even like that game against the Dream when they lost, I think the first quarter ended like 12-9 or something to the Aces. A'ja Wilson had 10 points. So even when her team sucks, she doesn't. It's not even funny how much better she is than everyone else, how good she is as a player. Like, there's never been as big a gap between... I don't think there's ever been as big a gap between the first and second best player in the world in basketball in general. Other than, like... Other than the year... Let's say the year where KD got injured. No, I think KD's been closer to LeBron than Breanna Stewart currently is to what A'ja Wilson is. She is by so much the best player, and she might go down... Like, this season for her is likely to be the best season in WNBA history, because there's a very good chance she wins Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, the championship, Finals MVP, and averages close to 27, 13, and 3 blocks with like 3 or 4 assists chipped or put in there. Like, that could happen. That could happen. And it could be the craziest stat line ever while winning every award. She's likely to have the best season of all time this year, and only right, because she is by far the best player in the world.